By way of conclusion and summary, let us now bring together the major features of Shinran's vision. There is an ultimate reality that is the underlying essence of mind and matter, the self-sufficient source of all existence. This is known as the Dharma body, which, in the final analysis, is all there is. While inconceivable in itself, it confers the light by which all things are known and perceived. The intelligence inherent in the Dharma body is necessarily reflected in the complexity, order, intelligibility, and beauty in the world, despite its many flaws which are inevitable, as well as in the astonishing intellectual and spiritual faculties of human beings, who are uniquely placed to intimately share in the divine life of this reality. Nirvana can be considered the Dharma body as experienced. It is a state of indescribable joy and imperishable peace that spells the end of all affliction, craving, rebirth, and, of course, karma, which can no longer be accumulated. It is also the final fulfillment of all the longing we feel in this life, even unconsciously, for that reality, which is the only good that is absolute and permanent. In nirvana, sickness, old age, and death can no longer touch us, as we will have forever relinquished the debilitating burdens of human life. This ultimate reality also dwells in us as our deepest ground beyond anything that we think of as our everyday self and its egocentric compulsions. This is the Buddha nature that is present in every sentient being as a trans-individual reality, although not disclosed in each of them equally. But inasmuch as it is also found deep within all things, it has assumed form as the external world which it wears and sheds like an outer garment. So, despite the varied forms of our distinctive personalities, we are united by virtue of our shared Buddha nature. To use a traditional analogy, a body of water and the waves it generates are not separate, even though the waves emerge in many different forms. Yet, in the absence of any water, waves could not exist. Amida has emerged from formless reality to assume an unambiguous form for our sake, so that we can recognize and accept the spiritual gifts that are never withheld from us. While the Dharma body is not a mere person, seeing as it exceeds every limitation suggested by that word, neither is it impersonal, like some inanimate force or object. Otherwise, it could never give rise to supreme compassion in the form of Amida as perfected personality. The phenomena of personhood is arguably one of the most remarkable realities in our existence, and demands an explanation that does justice to its far-reaching metaphysical significance. It is important to be aware that immortality is not something attained by an individual like ourselves who happens to live forever. Rather, it is an all-embracing life in which every hindrance that separates us from each other falls away in a dimension that is deathless. When our karma has sufficiently matured, we hear the name of Amida and understand that it is calling us, as Shinran urged, to, quote, abandon this old dwelling place of pain, close quote, where there is just a futile repetition of birth and death without end. This realization brings about a natural detachment, which in turn delivers us from the slavery of being bound by desire, ignorance, anger, and dread. In doing so, we stop clashing with life and come to settle with unresisting ease in the warm lap of other power. When Shinjin, incorruptible like a white lotus flower, arises in us, we are emancipated, even in this life, from the despotic oppression of our ego and its endless provocations. Amida, as the channel of spiritual power inherent in the Dharma body, is able to confer this enduring spiritual freedom to all who seek it. As already mentioned, Shinran acknowledged that we do not always feel the joy or gratitude that ought to accompany such liberation. This he attributed to the powerful hold that our disordered impulses have over us. These never abate as long as we live, but because we see them for what they are through the eyes of Amida, we do not allow ourselves to stray for long before returning to the secure fortress of the primal vow. We end our reflections by leaving the final word with Shinran, who has been our trusted guide and friend throughout this journey. May his uplifting vision of what it means to be truly alive inspire us all to seek refuge in the ever-beckoning light of Amida and return home. Quote, "Those who attain true and real Shinjin necessarily attain nirvana. To attain nirvana is to attain eternal bliss. Eternal bliss is ultimately tranquility." Close quote.